G'day guys, and welcome to episode 2 of Bizer's blog. I didn't think I was going to get this far, but hey, here we are. So hopefully we'll get through this one pretty quickly and without many fuck ups. So look, it's been a big week in Bizer's blog this week. I've got a new segment coming. It's called Bizer's Mailbag. It'll be a bit later on, premiering that one. And of course, I made a logo. Yes, that's right, a logo for Bizer's blog. So hopefully now we'll be up and about on the potties as well. So we'll be able to listen to an audio format for all the listeners out there. Beautiful day today outside. A little bit of smoke haze, a bit of construction happening behind me. So you might see a few diggers. We never know. But the story I never finished on last week is what I started on. The birds that flew inside the house, I could see them. Well, they finally did escape, in case anyone was wondering. It took about 2 hours to get out. I tried everything. They wouldn't get out. Had to get me mate around. We tried everything, and eventually they just flew out the windows. It's a pain in the bum. All right, so we'll go to TV talk straight up, because something big last night happened, and just part of the reason as to why we're late today in the blog, as opposed to having it yesterday on the Thursday, is the footy show. And that got the chop, didn't it? We spoke about that last week, of course. And we knew that it was going down the gurgler. It has been for some time, especially this year since they decided to axe Sammy, the man who's been there from day one, and obviously Ed, who come back to revive the show, and he's doing a great job. They were doing a really good job. So unfortunately it was potted against the front bar at the time, and the PC Brigade really put the brakes on what they couldn't say. So it was no good and destined to fail. But how would you be if you're taking over the show this year and you've ridden it into the ground, 6 or 7 rounds into the season? So no good at all. An iconic show gone down the gurgler. Channel 9 is in dire straits on that one. Let's hope they get a farewell show for Sammy and Ed. They can come back on and say goodbye. Hopefully get Gaz and what's his name, Billy as well, get him back on, and they can all have a laugh, maybe even get Swanee, the required players, if you will, and they all have a bit of a laugh and pay homage to what they've done over the time. But other things on Channel 9, really good stuff for them, is the Lego Masters. That's the only thing I think keeping them afloat. Lego Masters is fantastic, and it's gotten even better than what last week. We've had some really good builds on there. That apartment building was fantastic. The bridges, wow, I couldn't believe 80 odd kilos on those Lego bridges. That's insane how they did that. And then those little lair things that they made in the elimination, that was pretty cool as well. Sad to see the old lady and little grandson go, but obviously they just weren't up to the challenge. So bad luck for them, really, isn't it? Next TV show I want to talk about, this one's on Netflix. And I was looking forward to this one for a while, and it is Chris Lilley's Lunatics. Everything he's done in the past has been hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. We've sat down, we've laughed in stitches. Everyone quotes his stuff for years gone by. You remember S.Mouse, exclamation mark, Jonah from Tonga, Mr. G, all those guys, Jamie, all that, fantastic, really good. But Lunatics, absolutely shithouse. I watched 2 episodes and maybe went, that was about it. It just was not funny. It wasn't bad, just wasn't funny at all. So out of that, maybe 1 star out of 5, because it was fucking shit. Sports now, we'll move on. It's a big weekend in sport. It really is an absolute big one. F1's Barcelona, the first one in Europe again. What's going to happen in Barcelona? We don't know. Obviously, I have practice on today, on the Friday, qualifying on Saturday, and the big race on Sunday. So can the Mercedes hold off again? And can the Ferraris actually mount a challenge for once? It'd be nice to see the Ferraris come and have a challenge, because it's just really boring. I'm a big Mercedes fan. I love them. They're the best. But I want to see some competition because it's really quite boring. Hopefully Danny Rick can actually finish this time round, because it would be really good to see him get past the checkered flag, maybe even in the points, start going well, which would be really good. Other big things in sport as well, the A-League semi-finals. Don't forget, Perth Glory, for the first time, potentially could win the whole thing. They've just won the league. They've got to win the finals now. So we'll go for my tips on the A-League as well this week. Glory over Adelaide tonight, and then Sydney over Melbourne. tomorrow. That's my tips for that. I reckon Perth Glory, if they get through, will get all the way and win the full title. Good luck to them, and I hope they do win it. And we'll move on to the footy, because it's a big week this week in footy. What a big week in football it's been. Gary Ablett, once again, let off. I don't know what he has with the AFL, what deal he's got there, but I tell you what, it's a little bit sus, because, mate, if other blokes have gone for what he did, he probably should have got done as well. You know, just punch the bloke in the face as he is running. Not too good. Double fister. Looking the wrong way. Come on, bud. Sort it out. You silly man. You silly man. Now, the Tigers, look, I reckon they're stuffed, to be honest with you. They're absolutely stuffed this week. It'll be a good test up at Freo at Optus Stadium here, because Fremantle are playing some really good footy. But I think they're stuffed. Jackie Riewoldt out. All the other superstars out. Justin Martin's lost the plot. They're no good. We ended them. The almighty Pies in the prelim last year, so that was good. That was good. Carlton, look, I reckon Bolts is going to go probably just after the bye, is my mail. I've a few guys I know on the Twitter world have predicted that as well, and they've got a few close sources. So, yeah, tough times for Bolts, but was it 4 games in a couple of years? It's probably not the best way to keep your job. So, unfortunate for them. Actually sucked in. I hate Carlton. And the Sydney Swans, look, they're dead. Look at them down the bottom. No Buddy, no Sydney. As simple as that. And who knows, they could send Buddy away. Sending out the Pies would be nice, wouldn't it? But, we'll get on to the footy tips right now, because we're on that, and then we're going to go over to the Champions League. So footy this week, Sydney Essendon. I think Essendon tonight, of course. Carlton Collingwood. Collingwood will win tomorrow easily. Dogs and Brisbane. I think Brisbane and the Lions will win there. The Gold Coast and Melbourne. The Gold Coast should have a win. They're playing some alright footy. Melbourne are just off the boil this year. Swans and Eagles. Eagles should bounce back with a pretty good win. Sorry, the Saints and the Eagles. Look, I reckon the Eagles will really get going here. They're playing some good footy, and they need to get back and about and show everyone that the reigning premiers aren't just the reigning premiers for no reason. Port and Adelaide. Adelaide should win that one over Port after watching them against the Pies last week. They were pretty putrid. Cats and the Roos. Well, the Cats are just absolutely on fire, and the Roos, well, they had a good win over Carlton, but, you know, really, anyone should do that. Hopefully the Pies again will this week. Hawks and GWS, I think the Giants will win that one. Giants are in red hot form, and Hawks are just down the gurgler. Jared Ruffhead been dropped. Gee whiz. Fremantle and Richmond, I think Freo will win over here in Perth. And that's the tips this week. Then we'll move on to the Champions League. We'll go back to that. And outrageous scenes has been happening in the Champions League, of course, with the 2 games. Barcelona losing, couldn't believe that happened. And then Ajax 2-0 up, and Tottenham coming to win 3-2 at the end of that. Well done, Coys. So I reckon for the final, my prediction is going to be Tottenham 3, Liverpool 1. Go the Coys. I hope they win. Can't stand Liverpool. Bugger off. Now, my shit list this week. It's time for Bizer's shit list. That's right. Bizer's shit list. Egg Girl, number 1 on the shit list. Mate, seriously. You're a total failure through life. The one thing that you had to do in your life was go and egg the PM. That's all you had to do. And you even failed at that. You're at a country women's association thing, and you couldn't even crack an egg. Come on! Typical vegan, feminist looking fuckwit. Just take a hike, mate. Take a hike. Cricket Australia also on my shit list this week because of the day-night tests that they're doing all around with the fixtures. Absolute horseshit. What is this? The circus? This is test match cricket. It should be during the day. Perth, get stuffed. We don't want a daylight match. In fact, the state government, Cricket Australia and the WACA had even said that this year the test would be back at the WACA ground because it was estimated to be under 15,000 people. But no, so that didn't happen. They decided to put the bloody thing as a day-night match, so they had no choice but to keep it there under the wanky lights. And they reckon now that they'll get more people to it. I don't reckon it at all. I think a lot of people will drop their memberships. I, for one, don't think I will renew mine. It's going to take a lot to get me to. Just got no interest in watching day-night test cricket. If you want to watch day-night cricket, watch the one-day form or watch the T20. That's the circus, not test cricket, especially when we're using a pink ball, not even a proper red ball. It's a disgrace. The fact we've got 3 this year is an absolute disgrace. And even more than that, for the first time in many, many years, no day game on Australia Day. It's an absolute fast stat. What a debacle Cricket Australia are facing at the moment, seriously. The old bloke, it was no good that James Sutherland that run it, but I'll tell you what, he's probably doing better than the current geezer there, because at the moment, in his first year, the place has gone down the gurgler with all the circus. So, Cricket Australia, you're on my shit list this week. The other one as well, which will lead into a little bit of local stuff, is the RAC bus that has been put in Busselton on Byz's shit list. Take a hike. They've put the roads 40 k's an hour for a couple of kilometre zones where this stupid bus is. Takes you 30 minutes to do a trip from the jetty to the sea rescue in Busselton there. Now, those people that aren't in Busselton don't know the distance. It's probably about 1.5 k's or so to get there. It's quicker to walk there than what it is to take this bus. 30 minutes. It'll probably take you 10 to 15 to walk there and back. I kid you not. On my shit list. What a joke. Now, a bit of work behind me. Of course, as I mentioned earlier on there, they're starting to get the old development of this marina happening. So hopefully over the next period of time, we might see a bit of work happening over here, and I'll go over that if that does happen. Now, of course, the election coming up even closer. It's even a bigger circus now. More people are going out. Clive's sending more text messages. I can't be bothered talking about it too much because I'm sure we've all heard it. It's just crazy. It's a new segment time. Wow, here we are. Byz's mail bag. All right. Get the letters we've got sent in here. All right, so from Tommy. G'day, Tommy. How are you, buddy? Got any first date ideas? Well, that's a good topic actually there, mate. What, first date? Probably, I don't know. Meet up, go out to a nice meal and a couple of drinks, and yeah, just have a bit of a chat and get to know the person you're going out on the date with. I'd normally say get to know the girl, obviously in my aspects, because I'm a bloke, but only for anyone. So yeah, of course, just go out and have a bit of a meal, maybe go see a movie after that or something like that, and just take it pretty easy and just be yourself. Really, I don't think really much more than that should happen on a firstie. To be honest, you don't want to put too much pressure on yourself, because if you put too much pressure on yourself, you'll cook it. Absolutely. Next one is thoughts on the food blogs. Mate, food bloggers. Yeah, don't like them at all. Like, fuck off. I mean, unless you're doing a video blog like this where, someone's maybe cooking something for a bit of fun, bit of a tutorial video, yeah, cool. But if you're going to write about it, I don't understand why people are going to write or talk about food, because you can't even see it or taste it. So what's the point? Doesn't make sense to me, that one. And what's your point at a restaurant when you're going to have to ask for your money back? Well, when it's totally fucking shit house, mate, honestly. You don't want to have to do it, like, you don't want to have to be a prick. I don't want to be that guy if they've made a mistake. Having worked in hospitality before, you just understand. But you don't want to have to cop a shit meal, because naturally you're paying for it. But you don't want to be that pest that sends it back every time and complains and whatnot. But if it's really terrible, i.e. if you get a steak and you ask for a medium rare and it's like leather, fair enough. It's overcooked or undercooked too blue, or your chicken tastes like crap. That's a fair call on that one. And yeah, cool. Thanks for the letter, Tommy. And yeah, another one here from Ryan and Busso. And here we go. He says, you're going to hit the pre-poll up or wait for the election day to earn a democracy sausage? Well, naturally, I think you need to go to the election day. Only vegans wouldn't go to the election day and get a sausage. And they're the ones that probably have pre-polled and done the pre-voting, because they're absolute fuckwits. Who doesn't want to go get an election day sausage? It's the only thing free you get from the federal government at all per year, or every couple of years whenever the election comes around. So go and get that fucking thing. Get it in your mouth, put the sauce on it. Don't eat it sideways like Bill Shorten. Eat it properly how you should eat a snagger. Make it happen. Get down there on election day and grab your snagger. That's what I say. Now, has the smell in Port Geo gotten any better? Well, mate, the smell is not really a smell much anymore. But that seaweed problem down there is really starting to bank up again. So I can imagine it's not going to be too far away before it starts to be absolutely putrid, the smell. And yeah, you've got to start putting the old pegs on the nose when you go for a walk in the evening. And here we go, there's another one here. What would you do if you're riding a horse next to a giraffe while being chased by a tiger? Get off the merry-go-round. That's a very good one, mate. I like that one. Did you know that Neil Diamond used to go by the name of Neil Cole until he couldn't handle the pressure? Wow, that was very punny, mate. I like that a lot. Well done. Thank you for the letters. Keep them in ByzersBlog@gmail, or just flick it to us on the Instagram or the YouTube. In the comments, just send us a few letters for next week and I'll read them out. I really appreciate those letters, guys. Next thing, VB pricing. Quick one on that. I paid $62 for a block. That is absolutely outrageous. I cannot believe that Victoria Bitter, a lovely beer, I love it, it's my favourite. Some of you probably won't agree with me on that, but $62 is absolutely outrageous. It's like EME Export, it's ridiculously priced. That's as expensive as a European beer, and they're imported. I can understand you've got to pay import tax, but that's ridiculous pricing. Absolutely ridiculous pricing is what I'm going to leave that one on. Happy Mother's Day this weekend to all the mums. I really hope you guys get spoiled, and everyone should go out and spoil their mums and go give their mum a real big hug and kiss on Mother's Day and tell them that you love them, because without your mums, you wouldn't be here today. That's episode 2 of Byzer's Blog. I hope you've all enjoyed it. Tune in next week. We'll be back again. Peace.